Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the Ted Show, and you all know how much I love food and how I love my Italian ancestry. And now I'm going to get to talk about both of those with these two beautiful people. It's Jeff and Isabella di Morgia. No, Jeff and Isabella Morgia, and I put it in the wrong order. But I'll let you say it. Pronounce it for me. Say it, Isabella.
Isabella Morgia di Vicari and Jeffrey Jere Morgia. I make him say his middle name.
Oh, what's his middle name? Say it again.
Jere. 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 Yes.
It's actually Ted.
God bless you. I'm just so excited. You guys are so amazing, full of energy. I love your restaurant. I love the title of the show. You know I had to promote the heck out of that. But we have more than just balls, because the Meatball Stoppe is an amazing place in Orlando. It's got a great history, some great owners who you're talking to right now. And the food, it's delicious. And the meatball selections, of course, it wouldn't be called the Meatball Stoppe if you didn't get a lot of options there. So welcome, you two. I'm so excited we finally are doing this.
Thank you, Ted.
Grazie, Ted.
Grazie. See, I'm going to be totally distracted when you speak.
That's my job, babe.
It's right. I love, but you know what's great? So let's talk a little bit. I want to do origin story, but one of the things that I definitely want the audience to know we'll talk about is we talked before we went live, your pivoting, your ability to figure out what you were going to try to do to be different or shift during the pandemic when a lot of restaurants didn't know what to do. They had no idea how to do it, or the resources or the wherewithal, because panic set in. And so I want everyone to know about that. But before we take a deep dive into that, tell them a little bit about you guys. People want to know history. They want to know, how you guys met and, that fun stuff. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about you.
Oh man, he wants that story.
That story might not be the right rating.
Oh yes, it is, and I'm going to tell it.
Bring it.
I will tell you, it was almost 12 years ago. It was May the 28th, 2008. I was actually catering. All right, it was Isabella's Bella Cucina back then for a mutual friend, and I was doing my thing, looking a little sexy. He even remembers what I was wearing. What does that tell you? Okay. All right. And I was there, and it was wonderful because I had this beautiful little boy. His name is Aaron, who came up to the table, and all the kids are eating at the kids' table, which I told Mary, don't be bringing that food on my table, right? That kid stuff. No, right? But all the kids were on the other table, but this little boy named Aaron. And Aaron was at the adult table eating the bruschetta and the caponata. And he's talking to me, and I'm thinking, who in the world raised this child, right? And I thought, oh, what a sweet boy. He goes off. Later on during the evening, he actually comes up to me and he says, Miss Isabella, you thirsty? And I go, oh, yes. He runs and he grabs me, not un bicchiere di vino, not a glass of vino. And yes, this is an Italian show. We can't do it without the vino, okay? So he brings me a soda, a glass of ice. He opens it up. He pours it in the glass for me, all right? And I said, stop right there. I said, excuse me, would you happen to have a uncle or a big brother or an uncle or something? Madonna mia, I should have said grandfather or something to this kid, all right? Not big brother or uncle. And as I was speaking to this little boy, guess who walks up?
Mr. Jeff.
Mr. Jeff walks up.
And did you ever hear the saying of walking into an Italian buzzsaw?
That's so mean, right?
With love.
And I thought he set this whole thing up, because I looked at him and I thought, you dog, you. This beautiful little boy to talk to me, so you knew that was your opportunity to come up. Long story short, Jeff and I talked all night long about food and familia. All right, and the rest is history. September.
You never shared who Aaron is.
Oh my God!
He wasn't some random boy at the party.
Aaron is Jeffy's. He was Jeffy's See, Jeffy bornded him, and I rebornded him. I thought I never did. Okay, thank you. I am now the proud mama of this beautiful little boy who's now going to be 25 years old.
Wow.
Yes. And so anyway, yes, Aaron was the icing on the cake, because any man that had full custody of this child and raised him like that, I'd be a fool not to be with him. And here I am today.
I didn't know that story. That's beautiful.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
what's your thoughts? Did you tell it perfectly?
Yeah, I don't think she could have shared it any better. I mean, it was completely random and certainly unstaged. I mean, Aaron just saw someone who looked like she was working and was thirsty, I guess. He certainly wasn't prompted to do any of it.
What does Aaron say now? I mean, I know we're getting off topic, but I love this story. What has Aaron said since then? Like, does he remember it the same way?
Aaron has a very strong memory. If you were to ask him, he'd remember it the same way.
Except one thing, okay?
What's that?
Well, he does remember that I ruined his Alaska trip, okay? Because a week later, Jeffy goes to Alaska, his very first trip with Aaron on a cruise, all right? And Jeffy, when they docked at Juneau, Jeffy refused to get off because he didn't have signal, because he had to talk to me. And he says, Mom, I'll never forgive you, because we couldn't get off at that moment because Daddy had to talk to you first, all right? So Mark.
I love that story. I did not know that, but that is kismet. That is meant to be. All right. So, Jeff, did you have a background in food as well? I mean, what was? I heard Isabella say she was catering then.
Right.
How about you? Did you have any restaurant or catering background, or did you just love food like me?
Well, I certainly love food, but actually my entire working life has been in the food and hotel industry. When I was 16, I started sweeping parking lots at a hotel. And then I ended up going to hospitality management, graduated from UNLV. That's how, Guy found me. He remembered an alumni. Not really. He found Isabella. I like to twist the story a little.
I love it. It's good.
Then I went almost 10 years with Sheridan Corporation in many different cities, all in catering and food and beverage and so forth, and ended up in New England, where I figured at a very young age, after 10 years, the hotel business would kill me because it's so grueling. Back then, I don't know if it's the same today, but so I made a switch, and I went where I felt I would be most comfortable, and I joined Burger King, store-level management, and 27 years later, after being in just about every role the company offered, Isabella seemed like she had a great catering company, Isabella's Bella Cucina, which had a lot of, she built the name, the reputation, and it just needed more than just her working it. So in 2011, I decided to hang up my Whoppers and trade them in for balls. Well, the balls came later.
I mean, I had a feeling we were going there, but I am so happy you did.
Everybody asked me, though, from the beginning, why the Meatball Stoppe? It's all about balls. What can I tell you?
And that's what I want to know. So you all obviously have experience, and you have passion for food and service. Tell me how you landed on the concept for the Meatball Stoppe.
I'll let Isabella take it. She likes talking about it a little more openly than I do.
I got to tell you, we actually acquired a small catering company who actually approached us. And the last thing at that time we wanted to do was to pick up somebody else's headaches for crying out loud, right? But God wanted us to have it because it was delivered to us on a silver platter. Within literally less than 6 weeks, we had keys in hand to the space, all right, the very original space that we had, all right? And so Jeff says, what are we going to do with all this space?
1,200 square feet for her and I. What are you going to do with that?
Right?
That's a big commercial kitchen.
That's a big one.
But one major client that we did breakfast and lunch for practically, 280 days a year?
About 300.
About 300. There you go.
Wow.
Yes. And also thank God for that, because that's what sustained us. But there's a little word at the end of that sentence. He says, but I only need 400 square feet. And the very first thing out of my mouth, because I didn't know where this man's going. All right, do you want to stay married? I said. All right, are you crazy thinking about you want to open up a restaurant? All right, we both got away from that, right? Take it from there, my love.
That 400 square feet is today's lobby in the restaurant. You know, before we opened up the wall and took both spaces, and I said, what do we got to lose? I said, we're paying for the space anyway for the commercial kitchen. I said, so what do we got to lose? We throw up a couple of walls, put some paint on the walls, get some tables and chairs from Craigslist, and see what happens. You know, because I had this thing in my brain about meatballs. I don't know why. And
I was going to say, why meatballs? I love meatballs. It's one of my favorite food groups.
That's what I wanted to know. He said, why meatballs? And
his parting question to me was, Jeff, why meatballs? And I looked at him and I said, who doesn't love meatballs?
I swear to God, it's true. It's you. But what you all have done is it's not just your traditional meatball. I love the fact that it's all sorts of flavors. And I think you even at one time had a vegan or vegetarian choice. I mean, you all accommodate people and you're creative. It's not just one meatball. Trust me, I love meatballs. But you have lots of flavors. So talk about that. How did you go, all right, I want to make meatballs. It's one thing to do that. And then it's another thing to have all of these different recipes.
Well, we started with the basics of who we are and our background. So when you think about an Italian restaurant, a traditional Italian restaurant, they all have a traditional meatball. They have chicken marsala, chicken parmigiana, sausage, pepper, and onions, right? So he says, okay, we need to take those flavors, exact flavors, and turn them into a meatball. And that's exactly where we started. Of course, the numero uno, of course, is known as traditional meatball. All right. Then we had a chicken marsala meatball. But while we were making chicken, we thought, but wait a minute, what other chicken flavors out there that we love? Oh my God, everybody loves buffalo. And I love, love, love our buffalo. So we have a chicken buffalo blue. And we have a chicken parmigiana. All right. Then, of course, we have I always say it's Jeffrey's signature meatball because it's incredible. His sausage, pepper, and onion meatball. All right. Made with fennel and all the wonderful spices in the salsiccia, okay? And not only do we serve it in a white wine, all right, with peppers and onions on the top, we also now give it a new little twist, and we serve the meatball with creamy provolone. No Alfredo in my house, baby. We have creamy provolone, okay? Then, yes, of course, there are vegetarians out there. So we said, okay, we have to do a vegetarian ball, right? And we created this amazing vegetarian meatball. All right. And from there, we had a spicy pork ball. All right. Then what else am I missing, honey? Oh, Madonna mia, the crab ball. Oh my gosh. A crab ball. And then we're sitting in the restaurant and Jeff said, we need a Florida ball. I go, what's a Florida ball? And the customer behind us, who was he actually says, a gator. I go, gator? I said, there's no gator in my house.
We said, no gator meatball. There's going to be no gator on this menu. Because my only perception of gator was this tough, chewy gator tail.
Yeah.
So he said, oh, you know, so what? I'll give you a sample. You can see what you can do with it. It broke my food processor, what he gave me. Literally. So it took me three times with him back and forth, and because it had to be finely ground. And he finally got it. So there you go. There goes the gator meatball. And
I happily eat my words every day because that ball is amazing. And we top it with a spicy lemon aioli. Oh, you're going to love it.
See, if you went around, if you were the talking menu, I would order everything because of the way you say it. It just is, for me, it brings back lots of memories. But it's just so, that makes food sound sexy and exciting when you're speaking it the way that you speak it. What you had to expand, though. Let's talk about that. By the way, guys, their food is amazing. I have tried it, and it's unbelievable. You shifted when we all had to. We talked about the pandemic before we went live. you guys had to pivot. We all had to pivot as a restaurant where nobody was coming out anymore for the time at that time. You all shifted. Talk a little bit about the process of you kind of deciding what else you wanted to do.
Well, I think when the dining rooms were shut down, and I'll never forget the date, and it's not because it's a major Irish holiday, but March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, is when the governor shut the dining rooms down. And you know, you're worrying about that. And we were sitting, Isabella and I were sitting right up in the area that we are now, that's now the market. And I looked at her, you know, as serious as I could be, and I said, you know, this is like, what, 2.5 weeks into it, something like that? I looked at her, I said, Isabella, if we don't come up with some way or other ways to reinvent what we do, not who we are, reinvent what we do and never losing our identity and who we are, I said, honestly, I don't think we're going to make it. I mean, at that point, we were 75% down in sales.
Scary.
Wow.
You know, this isn't a garden food concept here where you've got millions and millions, you can give away 70% of it. I mean, you might go lock the doors at 75% down. So Isabella had a description of, we're sitting here, and she says, all of a sudden, Jeff's head started to explode with ideas.
Let me tell you something, okay? When you put this man up against the wall, things happen, okay? And all of a sudden, I can't tell you when I saw him this excited. I mean, literally. And before you know it, all right, he is now literally painting the entire restaurant, changing the whole color scheme on his own, all right, by himself. All right.
Wow.
I'm just saying, you missed the spot over there, honey. But I said that before.
And I said, don't you have some meatballs to make?
rolling, right? And then from the painting, all of us said, we need to do. I said, we need to bring in 2 brands or partner up with people in our community that people know and love and respect. And that all is from his Burger King days. You know, tell the story, honey. Remember?
Yeah, please.
What I reached back was, I shared with Isabella, I said, the many lessons I learned in the different roles, but the number one thing was they always found a way to co-market and partner with a strongly recognized, successful brand. And I remembered the times when we sold Snickers ice cream bars in the restaurant. And I said, that's what we need to do. We've painted, we've added the grab and go, we've you know, let's get the marchetta going. I said, we need to come up with a couple of name or locally recognized brands, you know, that we can bring in that people recognize, because the success factor is already there. You know, we hopefully just have to bring it in and let people come in to get it. So
we're thinking, what do we need? And I was thinking, we need chocolate, okay?
Oh, chocolate.
Yeah.
Gotta say with your hands. I love it.
We do. And I thought, oh my gosh, who do we have in Orlando, right? And of course, I was actually on a phone with somebody that we know very well, Julie Casey. All right, she goes, Peter Brooks. I go, yes, Peter Brooks. I go, who is he? Do you know him? Peter Brooks in this town, besides the brand? She goes, I know them very well. And I'm going to introduce you to Kevin and Jamie. All right, and before you know it. And I said to Kevin, check this out. I said, Kevin, I need 2 things before we even get to first base, okay? I need you to make me chocolate meatballs, because we got all these other meatballs, but we don't have chocolate meatballs. And I said, one has to be vegan. And he made us an amaretto almond dark chocolate truffle with the white chocolate drizzle. Oh, Madonna mia, it's so delicious. And for our lovely vegan community, he created a dark chocolate espresso truffle. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And then before you know it, he had his guys here, all right, the GM, Jeremy, from Peterbrook and Winter Park, and he was out here taking measurements and building this beautiful display, all right, before you know it, of all their wonderful things. All right, then I said, we need pasta. And Jeff says, hey, who's that pasta guy there, all right, who owns the factory? Yeah. Well, that was the restaurant, but the factory.
Right. Trevi Pasta.
Trevi Pasta.
Sure.
Well, the restaurant was Trevi, but we actually have partnered up with the factory itself. All right, so he is incredible, and they have given us the first class product that everyone loves. And now when you come to the Meatball Stoppe, anything that says pasta on the menu, you can substitute it and interchange it with the parpadella, the gnocchi, the wild mushroom ravioli, the quattro formaggi ravioli, all right, the linguine. Oh my gosh, what did did I say gnocchi? I did say gnocchi.
I don't know, but I was starving thinking about all this.
The tortellini, the quattro formaggi tortellini. Oh my gosh, they're so delicioso. Ah, Ted, it was fun.
Ah, I know. Now I want nothing but that. That's gonna happen. Somebody, it's funny. Somebody, hey Christina, she said chocolate meatballs. So yes, I love that concept. I love that you all thought to partner with other people. The collaborative spirit, I think, is what helps so many places stay in business and shift. Because it's one thing to shift or add a marchetta, but it's another thing when you want to be more collaborative, because then everybody's coming together and you get all the energy and the databases from everyone. So it's just it's such a positive thing. So I see gelato back there. So you have a market that people can come in and buy things.
Not only can they buy, obviously, the meatballs there, but in the grab and go, for example, like I make my nonna's, her famous antipasto dish that she made every time. She would make melanzana sotto l'olio. All right, it actually means the eggplant underneath the oil, but what it actually is pickled eggplant with garlic and herbs and crushed red. Honey, you like a kid, you're gonna love it. Okay, I made 4 gallons, baby, and I only got 3 containers left, so you better get over here and pick the last 2, because it doesn't take overnight to get it, all right, or to make it. So we have that, and the cheeses, and then we have some wonderful imported beverages that we haven't had, and these are non-alcoholic beverages. You see, we have this wonderful bottle of Sole, not Sol, Sole, as it's pronounced, okay? And it's the sparkling and the flat water. We have, a wonderful vinegar. It is a raspberry vinconto, all right? And that is like, as you have a balsamic drizzle, this is a raspberry drizzle. It is so much sexier. Oh,
so
Ted,
much sexy. Well, the way you all talk, it's all sexy. I mean, who wouldn't want to be there? I had a couple of questions before we went live, and so I have to at least ask one. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention diners, drive-ins, and dives. What was that experience like?
What do you say, Jeff?
What little hair I have stood up like his. I don't think I ever worked so hard in my life. When it was done, I told Isabella it was 19 hours worth of taping, and I told her at the end of that, I've never been so mentally exhausted in my life.
And it was the best decision we've made
Absolutely.
over the past years.
A lot of fun.
I got to tell you.
I love that. How did he get to you?
So actually, people say, we have customers when they found out, they go, it was because of me, because I wrote to Guy. I texted him, I sent him an email. I told him he had to come out there. And the very first thing that I did when the producer called, all right, it was a Monday evening, I'll never forget it, all right, and she says, Isabella, and she goes, hi, I'm Sandra with Triple D, and she goes, it's my job to find out, are you who you say you are? And I said, how much time you got? All right, that's how we started, all right, and before you know it, and then she said, I got 2 more questions for you. Number 1, these are the deal breakers too. Are you willing to shut your restaurant down for 2 full days? I almost went, 2 full days? You would have put me out of business again before I even get there. She goes, I promise you, you will never regret the day that you let Guy Fieri and the best production team in your cucina. And I will tell you, bar none, Guy Fieri, almost 4 years ago, put us on the map. And not only on the map to this day, all right, because they still run our segments, but we are now, all right, in the top, we're in the top 24 and actually probably even higher than that. Guy Fieri has a contest, America's favorite Triple D. All right, and and everyone's customers who were interested had to make a tape of why that restaurant was so special. And Guy chose one of our customers. All right, her name is Peg. All right, and you'll go to our Facebook page and you'll see Peg's video. It is so heartfelt and why she wanted us and why she loves our restaurant and the two of us and so forth. And so we are now, to my knowledge, in the top. Do I say it? Maybe 6.
I love it, Jeff.
Yeah, something like that.
It was originally the top 24, but her video was actually chosen as one of the winners, so that automatically allows us to be in the consideration for being one of America's favorite on Triple D.
She won $1,000, and if he chooses us, all right, she will be on the show with us and Guy back in our little cucina, right back there.
All right, so I have lots of comments everywhere, guys. We can't get to all of them, so thank you. Isabella, Jeff, and I will all respond later. Tell people where you are. How do they find you? And let's direct them to the website too, which is scrolling down here. But tell them how to find you and your beautiful shop, Stoppe and Marchetta.
Grazie. Yeah, so we're at 7325 Lake Underhill Road, right on the northwest corner of Lake Underhill and Goldenrod. All right, you'll find us here. And we actually have a big old sign at the top that says Primo Vegan. All right, because we have an entire vegan menu, an entire vegetarian menu, gluten-free menu, meat lovers menu, and everything in between, babe. You need it, we've got it.
Y'all have to check them out. They're absolutely amazing. And I can tell you that the way they are on the show today is exactly how they are all the time. Lovely, beautiful, wonderful human beings who just love to see people enjoy the fruits of their labor of cooking and creating. And you guys are just amazing. I love you both. I think what you have created in Orlando is top notch. So the Meatball Stoppe. And then I'll let you say your names so much better than me.
Grazie. This is Jeffrey Morgia and Isabella Morgia Tivicari coming your way. Looking forward to seeing you in our house soon.
Love it.
Bye,
the Meatball Stoppe.
Thanks, Ted.
You guys are amazing. Jeff, Isabella, mwah, thank you. Grazie. We will talk to you soon. Cheers. I am so happy for your success, and I am honored to have you on the show. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys later. Reach out. Go to the Meatball Stoppe. Support local. These guys are amazing. You will not be disappointed. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Grazie.
Grazie.